Hey there, we're Mike and Heather, and we have been traveling out of our 2013 Ford Transit Connect. We built out the back of this van to be a micro camper, and we have had an amazing time touring around the country in it. We thought we would share some of our favorite applications and services that really can be used by anyone doing van life.
The first app that we suggest anybody doing van life to download is the iOverlander app. Now, you may have heard of this on other van life channels because it is an incredibly popular app, and it is for a reason. Essentially what the app is an interactive map where you can find loads of services for van life, but more specifically where you can find camping spots.
It's really an absolutely amazing tool for van life. It's something that we used every day to find our campsites, to find shower locations, laundry,
water fill-ups.
Exactly.
Propane.
It has everything that you could need for van lifing, and it's totally free to use. If you download one app from this list for van life, it definitely should be iOverlander. It is invaluable.
It's all peer reviewed, so you can go on and see the place. You can read through the reviews before you even get there to make sure it's a place that you'd want to stay. There are other apps like iOverlander out there, but iOverlander is the one that we use predominantly, and it does work in other countries as well. So if you are a van lifer in another country, check it out. You might also find some really amazing places near your area as well. Sticking on the theme of maps, the next app that we suggest you get familiar with is Google Maps. And you're probably thinking, hey, yeah, I already know about Google Maps. Obviously, everybody has Google Maps. But more specifically, the offline feature for Google Maps, where you can download sections of the map that you can use offline. This function of Google Maps becomes extremely important when you are going to be in places that doesn't have the best cell service. Specifically, when we were on the Alaska Highway, we had our phone service turned off because we are US citizens, and going into Canada, you get upcharged, or going into any other country, I suppose, you get upcharged on your cell phone bill. So for the couple of days that we were driving through Canada, we had our cell service turned off, but we're still able to use Google Maps because we pre-downloaded our route the way there.
And this was great because it still allowed us to search along that route for specific businesses or locations. In our case, as we were traveling the Alaska Highway, we had to make it through a large part of Canada. So during that trip, we looked for Walmarts to stop at, gas stations, restaurants to eat at. So it was really great that even though we didn't have internet, we weren't cut off from being able to search along our route.
Speaking of gas stations, the next app that we suggest you download is Gas Buddy. It is another map-based app, but what it allows you to do is look up the gas stations on your route and see all of the prices. This becomes especially handy when gas prices are high because you can see within an area which one is the cheapest to go to on your route. So do we fill up now, or do we wait a half hour at the one down the road a little bit outside of town because that one's significantly cheaper? So it just allows you to find the best gas prices on your route. The next helpful service that we suggest you become familiar with is a website called findaspring.com. It is another map-based service that will show you all of the free water spots that you could fill up for in an area. It lists off natural springs as well as places that you can fill up with a more traditional hose and spigot. It's just really useful to know where all the water stops are in an area, so that way you aren't necessarily going into Walmart every day filling up with big plastic jugs.
There is a feature on iOverlander that shows water locations, but it's not as heavily populated with that information as some of the other sites. So again, utilizing some of these different services to round out your toolkit is really useful, and Find a Spring probably had more in the way of natural water sources, free water.
Places.
And so that was good, especially if you use a lot of water for cooking or showers or things like that, and you want to make sure that you're always able to top off. That's something that comes in handy for sure. Another free app that's sort of similar to iOverlander, but for hiking, is called AllTrails. This is an application that we used a lot because Heather and I like hiking. AllTrails is great because there's an enormous amount of trails with information about how to get there. There's user reviews that
difficulty ratings.
Yeah, difficulty ratings, updates on what the trail looked like within the last couple days. It's a great resource if you're into hiking and want something that gives you more information than just a article on Google. This next app is absolutely one of my personal favorite ones. It's somewhere in between a free app and a service. It's totally free because all you need is a library card, but it's really great because it gives you access to all of the library's electronic materials, so ebooks and audiobooks, and it works just like a normal library card would. It's usually up to date with new releases, but it's really fantastic, and it actually works offline as well. I really enjoy listening to audiobooks when I'm driving, so while we're on the road, I can pull up the Libby app, pick my audiobook, and even if we're not around any kind of cellular service, I can still listen to my audiobooks, which is great. All in all, it's a free app, and if you like libraries and use services from there, like renting books or audiobooks, it's great as a mobile resource that you can take with you.
The next service that we want to talk about isn't one specific application or website, because there's lots of different ways to do that, and that's just location sharing. So we personally share our locations through Google Maps with our family members when we are on the road, so that way they know where we are at all times, especially when we are going on longer trips, so that way it's the peace of mind thing. I know that you can do this through so many apps like Snapchat. I'm pretty sure like every social media app you can share your location. If you're an iPhone user, you can do the Find My Phone.
Yep.
So whatever it is, just something to keep in mind is finding your favorite location sharing option and doing that with family members is for a safety thing, so that way somebody always knows where you're at.
Moving on from the free apps and stuff, we'll talk about a few of the services that we've used that have been just really great. To be able to shower regularly on the road when you don't have space for a shower in your van was something of a challenge until we saw people talking about Planet Fitness memberships. So there's a few gyms that are like it, Planet Fitness, Anytime Fitness, but basically these national chains with a fairly low monthly cost are absolutely great for van lifers because you can walk in and use the shower anytime you want at any of these locations across the country, which is something we did a lot. For around $20 a month through Planet Fitness, you get access to their premium membership, which allows you to have access to any of their gyms across the country, and you can bring a guest. So with one account, we were able to both go into the gyms and use their showers whenever we wanted, which was really fantastic because being in a van and being in hotter climates or hiking, doing anything like that, you kind of get gross, and just being a person at some point in time, you're gonna want a shower. So to be able to get a shower for relatively affordable monthly payments was something that we were super into.
Plus, a lot of them are open 24/7, so if you're in a pinch, you could always sleep at one of them too.
Yeah.
Because you can blend in with all the other people who are going to work out. The next service that we want to talk about is some type of emergency roadside assistance. Now, there's a couple companies that allow you to do that. Obviously, AAA, which is a very popular emergency roadside assistance. I know that sometimes your car insurance, if you upgrade, like Geico has that option. We went with an extended warranty plan and purchased one for our van that everything was covered, including roadside assistance.
For us, that was a great option to sort of secure this investment that is our van and make sure that we're able to stay on the road, even if we have mechanical issues, which, knock on wood, we really didn't have during the course of our travels, which was stellar. One of the things that I wouldn't say recommend, but I think is absolutely worth looking into is travel credit cards. So at the beginning of our van life journey, we started looking into travel credit cards as a way to generate points because of the benefits that come with them. So we shifted away from using our debit cards because if you're spending money, it makes more sense to get the points that come with a purchase made on a credit card. And with that, there's a certain level of responsibility where we would make the purchase and then pay it off. When you reach certain thresholds after you sign up for a travel credit card, you get a very large amount of points and then you continue to build. So if you get credit cards that work towards the things that you want to use them for, they're really a great tool for being able to get rewards and discounts on things that you want to be spending money on. So we ended up signing up for a few different travel credit cards that we use for different things. With one of our cards, we only use it for gas because it gets the maximum rewards for that. Another one is really great with grocery shopping. So we have a couple of different cards that are building points for us that we can then use on hotel stays, flights, vacations, things like that. And we've actually made use of that, which is something that before starting this process, we never knew about. So I would recommend looking into travel hacking. There's a really great website that we use called NerdWallet that breaks down what different types of cards there are, what they're best used for. So there's lots of really great resources, and it's something that is definitely worthwhile, and I'm glad we learned more about.
We're not financial advisors at all, but these are just some of the things that we found useful with travel credit cards because you are traveling. So a lot of the things that count are gas, groceries, entertainment categories. So
dining out.
Yeah, so if you go buy anything like zoo tickets, any type of attraction count as points back. Like I said, dining out, so eating out, even if you're going through a drive-through like Wendy's, it all counts as points back that you get, and then you can stockpile them. So we've used our points to get Disney tickets. We use them for our flights to Hawaii.
Yep.
So it really does come back, and those are all essentially free points because we would be spending that money anyways on our debit card, but now we're at least getting something back to be able to use towards future travels. We will put the links down below for some of our favorite ones. We're not sponsored by any of these credit cards, but it's like invite a friend. So if you sign up for the credit card under our link, we get extra points as well as you do. So if you are interested in signing up for a travel credit card, you might want to click through one of our links so that way you get even more extra points. We're interrupting this video because as we're editing it, we forgot about two really important apps/services that we use all the time while we're in our van. The first being a America the Beautiful Pass. So if you are planning on going to national parks, which you absolutely should, spend the $80 on the America the Beautiful Pass.
The America the Beautiful Pass is really great because it gives you access to all of the national parks, national monuments, any location that's governed by the National Park Service. You get access for free with this pass. So it's $80 upfront, which is a little bit expensive, but it pays for itself pretty quickly if you're going to more than just one, because it's about $30 generally to get into these locations without one. Piggybacking off of the America the Beautiful Pass is another one that kind of goes hand in hand for visiting beautiful locations, and that is the Guide Along app. It's something that we've used so many different times across the country, from West Coast to East Coast, national parks, beautiful scenic drives. It's been fantastic. And what it is a GPS navigation with audio narration for you based on your location as you're driving down the path. It's really super easy to use. It comes with directions, and it is just phenomenal for getting a more complete experience because you get points of interest, places to stop, recommendations for how much time to spend. It's fantastic.
So if you're thinking about van life, definitely look into the America the Beautiful Pass as well as the Guide Along. We felt like we couldn't really wrap up this video without letting you know that, but back to the video.
That really covers our list of essential services and apps that we use really regularly when we're in the van. If you have any questions about the apps or anything like that, leave them in the comments below.
Or if you have any other suggestions and you're doing van life yourself and have found other websites, apps, or services helpful, leave the information down below too to help out other people in this community. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.